Hey guys, this week's episode is an actionable step-by-step guide for self-care. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, my name is Katie. I'm a dental hygienist from South Dakota, and on the podcast today, we are talking about the SPEMS framework for self-care. If you're a first-time listener, the Grow RDH podcast is designed for all dental hygienists. We typically talk a lot about dental hygiene-related topics, but lately we've been focusing a little bit more on self-care and how that helps us manage our personal lives, our emotions, and just makes us better humans for the people that are in relationship with us. Today, I'm really excited to talk about self-care. And if you've been listening to the podcast lately, I've been talking a lot more about personal things. This is because my life is going through just some times of change, and I have been kind of down in the dumps. Now I'm coming out of that, and I wanted to share the SPEMS framework for self-care. When you think about self-care, typically we think about indulging in things. A lot of the times this can mean like a bubble bath or chocolate or wine or whatever it is for you, but really self-care can be designed to help you as a whole become a better person or become the person that you know you are, and you just need a little help getting there. Self-care is really important for your overall well-being, and the SPEMS framework is a really directed, methodical way to do this. And this is something that I have been doing with the seniors. So I teach at a dental hygiene school, and I have been helping the seniors through this. This is something that we do at the beginning of senior year, because if you're a dental hygienist, you know that senior year especially is very busy. You have your coursework, you have a ton of clinical hours to get in, you have clinical competencies that you have to get done, and it's just a lot. It may not be cognitively as hard as your first year in terms of content or learning, but it's just a lot. It's a lot in terms of managing all of the different obligations that you have to meet. And so I thought, because I have been using the SPEMS framework for so long, that I just thought it was a really unique topic that maybe not everybody has heard of. And I think when it comes to self-care, it is really beneficial to have a guided, directed way to do this, so that way we know we are taking good care of ourselves. Sometimes this doesn't always feel good, but just like running a marathon, right? Sometimes we have to flex our muscles and we have to be sore in order to get to the finish line. So we are going to go over SPEMS and what it means. SPEMS is an acronym, and it is a guide to self-care that looks at 5 different themes or 5 different areas of your life where you can put your energy to make sure that you are taking good care of your whole self. The first S stands for social, then P stands for physical, E is emotional, M is mental, and S, finally at the end, is spiritual. So we're going to tackle this episode one letter at a time. And I want to just encourage you and say that you can make your self-care intentional. Not everything that feels good for us is good for us. And so if we have an intentional framework through which that we can achieve self-care, we are going to be better aligned with the things that we know are good for us. The first S is social. Social has to deal with our relationships. So the relationships in our lives, this can be our family, this can be our circle of friends, this can even be our coworkers. But social means taking care of our community that's around us. And a lot of the times, the community that are around us is who we become, right? They say you are who you surround yourself with. So sometimes social can be reducing the people around you. If you have somebody in your life that is causing a lot of stress, causing a lot of pain, maybe taking some space from that person is going to be what's better for you in the long run. It's also about surrounding ourselves with people that make us feel good. It's taking inventory of who is in community with us. Sometimes our chosen family can be more family to us than even our blood relatives. It also means setting boundaries, and those boundaries can mean that we don't engage in gossip in the workplace. Those boundaries could be that we don't hang out with a group of friends that make us not feel wanted or make us feel excluded. It can also mean, and this is the most important part of the social aspect, is carving out time to spend time with the people that fill your cup. What this can look like for you is scheduling intentional connection. This means having that coffee date with a friend that you just haven't had time to talk with lately. It means scheduling date nights with your partner. For those in long-term relationships, that may not sound the most romantic. However, sometimes it's necessary. We get busy, we're working professionals, or we're students with a lot of studying to do. So if we schedule time and we put it in our calendar and we carve out that space and we make that space intentionally important to us, it is going to fill our social cup. So I challenge you to look at the community in your life. If you need to mute that group chat just for a time, do it. If you need to put a reminder in your calendar to connect with your best friend, do it. Your social aspect and community of your life is very important when it comes to self-care. The P in SPEMS stands for physical. For us dental hygienists, this is essential in the workplace. We know that we are at high risk for occupational injury. So for you specifically, this might be investing in loops. It might be doing chairside exercises in between patients. It might be taking inventory on your nutrition or the lunches you're packing or the snacks that you're eating when you get home from work. Are you fueling your physical body with the things that it needs to handle the amount of stress that you deal with on a day-to-day basis? This can also mean rest and hydration. So rest or getting good sleep, making sure you're taking breaks is essential for our bodies to recover and heal. And hydration is essential for us to keep going. So while we might want to reach for that Celsius or the Monster, whatever it is, just to keep us rolling, we may also need to look into getting enough electrolytes or making sure that we're drinking appropriate amount of water every single day. My challenge to you in this aspect of SPEMS is to take inventory of your day and kind of figure out where you may be lacking in taking care of your physical body, and just set a goal of what you can do in that week to really focus on your physical health. Maybe that's drinking more water at the end of your day or at the beginning of your day. Maybe it is packing a healthier lunch, or maybe it is setting aside time to do a couple stretches in between every single patient. Not only will you physically feel better at the end of the day, but you won't feel drained when you go home. The E in SPEMS is emotional. This is being emotionally aware or emotionally intelligent. Some people call it emotional intelligence. And for hygienists especially, this can mean recognizing signs of burnout. A lot of the times it is easy for us to get burnt out because our schedules are insane. We are constant, nonstop. And if you think about your work day, how often are you checking in with your emotional well-being? Every emotion that we feel, frustration, joy, happiness, calm, all of those emotions mean something and they build up over time. So if we are constantly frustrated at work, that can lead to burnout. If we don't take time to experience joy or experience happiness at work, we're going to associate that workplace with those negative emotions that we're feeling. So my self-care challenge to you in the emotional category is to set aside time at your lunch or at the end of the day to just be aware. Be aware of your emotions. Maybe do a 2-minute journal just to check in with yourself and check in with how that day went. When did you experience frustration? When did you experience joy? And putting it down on paper can be very beneficial in just helping you become more aware of those emotions throughout the day. When you become more aware, then you're better able or capable, I guess, to deal with those emotions as they come instead of experiencing them and then reacting on the back end. The M in SPEMS is mental. This is a little bit different than emotional. Emotional deals with feelings, and mental deals with your whole cognition, your whole being, and how you think. If you're a hygienist listening to this and you can get to the end of the day and be like, wow, what did I do? I just scaled teeth all day. Sometimes it gets boring, for lack of a better word. This can mean you might just check out during the day. Maybe you don't even realize you're just kind of a robot and you're going through the same procedures and the same talks. You're giving the same oral health education to every single patient because you're mentally exhausted and you're kind of just checked out of the whole process. This can kind of be a bad thing because we don't want to be mentally checked out. We want to be able to give mental, cognitive attention to our patients. And this also ties back to burnout. We don't want to get to that level of burnout where we're checked out completely and we're on robot mode, because every patient is unique, every patient is different. My recommendations for this could be something as simple as taking CE courses routinely, not just, at one big meeting where you get all your CEs at the same time, but scheduling CEs consistently throughout the year. This allows you to challenge your brain, to think in new ways, and to kind of keep that brain working, keep that energy into learning and getting better. So my self-care challenge to you for the mental aspect of your self-care is to challenge yourself. Look at your mental well-being, your cognition, and look at areas where you could improve. Maybe it's one night a week instead of doing your Netflix binge session, which again, I'm all about a Netflix binge session, but maybe one night a week instead of that, you read an article or you watch a YouTube video about a topic that you haven't learned about in a while. Maybe it's something from school that you haven't revisited and you may be a little bit lax on. So challenge yourself to grow your cognition, grow your mental activity, and I think it will really make you more aware of areas where you could grow. The last S in the SPEMS acronym stands for spiritual. And don't scroll away. This is not going to be a religious sermon, but everybody is a spiritual being. And for you, that could be religion, or it could be a spiritual belief in God. It could also be exploring your meaning. What does life mean to you? Where do you sit on the pendulum of all of the different spiritual beliefs that are out there? Do you believe in life after death? Do you believe in tarot? Do you believe in divination? Do you believe in grounding and nature? Your spiritual beliefs hold internally very deep meaning about what you see in terms of ethics and morality. So spiritual self-care is exploring those topics. It could be faith, it could be meditation and learning who you are in your soul. It could also mean spending time in nature or doing grounding techniques, things that make you more aware of your soul's intention and the world around you and your meaning and your purpose within that world around you. So my self-care challenge to you in the spiritual category is to maybe just start with a morning ritual or a weekly ritual. Check in with yourself, do a meditation. And it really is just a practice of remembering who you are outside of the operatory before you enter the operatory. Who are you at your very core? What do you want to exude? What do you want people to see or think about when they interact with you? And that meaning and that purpose gives you a sort of spirituality. And that, my friends, is the SPEMS framework. Hopefully you found this valuable and you found some ideas that will help you guide your self-care routines to make them very actionable and give you things that you can employ right now, today. Do an inventory of all of these things and how they fit into your life. This will help you choose what self-care techniques and tactics that would fit best in your own individual routine. I want to remind you that self-care isn't selfish. It's what keeps you you. It's what keeps you going and capable, and it fills your cup so you can give to others. Choosing yourself is important because it keeps you healthy. Remember that I think they say in the airplanes, you put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you help your neighbor. And self-care is that. Self-care is putting your oxygen mask on to avoid burnout and make sure that you are living your very best life. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, subscribe. Share this with a dental hygienist that might need to use some of these ideas to give themselves a little more self-care. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you as always for supporting the podcast. I will see you next Friday with a brand new episode.